Hey, Coach Ken Kraetzer, CaMMVetsMedia. Good to see you out there. First day of contact, a lot of players, a lot of quarterbacks out on the field running your new offense. How'd you feel it went?
There were some goods and some bads. We just gotta keep fixing stuff. I think we've made some improvements, so that's good to see. But we still got a lot of stuff we gotta keep grinding and improving on and getting better at. But you're seeing some progress out there, so.
And certainly you've got a couple of quarterbacks who played last year, Bryson Daly, Alex Meredith is out there, a couple of young quarterbacks, Dwayne Coleman, and we saw Champ Harris on Saturday. Tell us about the quarterback situation.
There's there's a lot of competition in that room, and we're just trying to take it day by day and see who naturally takes that position. And the big thing is just executing the offense. We try to preach to those guys that you don't have to make the play. You just got to get it to the right person, not get it to the other team. That's obviously a big one. We got to win the turnover battle. We can't be turning it over. Ultimately that's going to be a big thing. The quarterback that turns it over the least is going to be a huge factor as well. But all those guys are competing right now. Hopefully you get to a scrimmage with more live stuff and tackling and seeing different things for the defense and see how those guys react when you're not there on the field with them. And then at some point obviously we got to start numbering down reps and stuff like that. But just trying to improve every day with those guys.
Maybe take us through, some of the wide receivers, some of the playmakers. You don't have slot backs anymore, I guess. But Ajon Marshall's been making a lot of plays I've seen. Isaiah Olson, of course. Tell us about some of the playmakers, wide receivers, and backs.
Yeah, those the wideout groups are doing a really good job. Before you even talk about the pass catching, we really challenge them to be great blockers. And they've really stepped up. We've hit some big runs, and we always tell them, the O-line will block it and get you 5 or 6. If you're popping off explosive runs, it's because your wideouts are getting to that second level and getting the guy blocked. So they've done a really good job of that. But yeah, Ijon's flying around out there. It's good to see him healthy. Again, he wasn't quite full go in the spring, so it's fun for me to see him healthy. Noah, him and both of those two guys are a good little 1-2 tandem there in the inside. And obviously Isaiah had a heck of a catch the other day. And we got some other guys really working in there too. Liam Fortner is one of those guys that has been blocking his butt off. And so that's been good to see. And then we got some young guys that are really working hard too that we'll see how they continue to grow.
My final question is just at the opening day, it was mentioned that all of your offensive linemen in your top 1-2 depth chart are over 300 pounds now. When I started covering Army, you didn't have one 300-pound lineman. How much? We talk. Bill Katsianis is going to come in at 305, I guess, at center. What is that size and help you, and how does the offensive line look?
I think that's just a credit to Coach Hughes and his staff and the work that they do. Their summer workout is some of the best stuff that I've ever been around. They are elite in being on those guys nutrition-wise. And, the thing is, you say 300 pounds, you think big old dudes. Well, if you look at them, they're big, but they're muscular. It's not just big sloppy weight that we threw on a bunch of guys. They're thick dudes that are powerful in the weight room, and that's been showing on the field. And those guys, people don't think you can get that big and then lose it all, but those guys are eating so many calories to help maintain that weight. That's tough in its own. So that's a credit to those guys eating enough calories, which as you get older, you wish you could eat more calories, but they've done a really good job, and then our strength staff is elite with those guys too.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, apologies if you've ever been asked this. The young quarterbacks that are now in today was their first full pads practice. Talked to Champ Harris after practice. What have you seen from the younger guys so far?
They're doing good. We've got a really good young group, and it's throwing a lot at them fast, and there's the speed of the game, and then there's the ball handling with guys that they've never meshed with and stuff like that. But those young guys are really working their butts off. The thing that really encourages you is not that they haven't made mistakes, but they don't typically make the same mistake the next practice. And so that's been fun to see. You can see some days they're out there and they don't quite know, and you coach it up, and then the next day they fixed it. And so just that progress is really fun to see with that whole group.
When you're, I just watching you in practice today, the on-the-field teaching, you know, because this, being it new, so to speak, yeah, it was installed in the spring, and yeah, this is the 6th practice, but how much have you enjoyed that, just to do that, you know, but to do it for the first time here at Army, and just the players that you're dealing with and the character of the guys that you're dealing with?
Yeah, it's been a blast. I mean, these kids, they're just built different. You know, these kids are just grinders. They work their butts off. They want to be coached. They're always asking questions. And again, you can see them improving. To me, that's the fun part. You correct something, it clicks for them, they go out and they have it fixed, and then they can make a new mistake to fix and just keep growing. But they're just such hard workers, you know, and it's not like it's one guy, it's that whole team. That's the standard, you know, of West Point and Army football both.
Thanks.
Go to Ken on Zoom.
Hey Drew, Ken McMillan from The Record. Drew, how Connor Finucane was talking to us last week about just a different approach of the offensive line, pretty much being smash, go forward this year, whereas it was a little more intricate in the years past. Can you just talk about, you know, give me an X's and O's of why that works in your system?
You know, I mean, it's just different. The timing of it is different. So you've got to, you know, in gun stuff, you've got to hold your blocks a little bit longer. That ball's going to hit at a little different time. You know, but I mean, it's still physicality. It doesn't matter what your X's and O's are. You've still got to line up and be physical and, you know, move guys from point A to point B, and give those running backs holes. Again, it doesn't matter what that scheme is. That's every offense. When you run the football, you need to move them and give them a hole for your running back. And our guys have been doing good at that. And it's fun to see their progress. You could see them really thinking in the spring. You know, and they weren't playing as fast as we would have liked. And now come fall camp, you can tell they know exactly where they're going. They know where their assignments are, and they can unload, you know, just their power from the weight room that they really hammered this summer.
But I think when people think shotgun, though, they think pass protection all the time. What would you call it? Because you're trying to move people off the line and hold your blocks, but you are trying to pass protect a bit more, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's, again, I don't think where you take a snap affects your mentality. I don't believe you have to be soft because you're in the shotgun. I think it's easier for quarterbacks to throw in the shotgun, but that doesn't make you softer. Again, that is going to give you a little different pocket from the gun, you know, and it's going to, obviously our OL stances and stuff have been changed from the, you know, the 4-point stance that they were in, so that's going to help you pass pro a little bit. And so they've actually done a good job there. I feel like our guys are a little more athletic up front than some people kind of give them credit for.
And just some quick thoughts about the running back situation.
Yeah, those guys are working their butts off. It's nice to have Tyson and Jacoby back. I know a lot of people think of them as fullbacks per se, but I mean, those dudes are just big running backs. They've got great feet, they've got great vision. You know, so those two are doing really good. Hayden and Miles carrying over a good spring. Markel's finally healthy, and he's been showing some flashes. So I mean, you've got a lot of guys, which is good. I mean, if you can sub in a bunch of different types of running backs and keep pounding people, you know, and make them bring an extra guy in the box, then it opens up some of your other options.
It must be cool for you because Tyson and Jacoby, you know, missed all of the spring. So it must be cool for you to see these guys really for the first time. Yeah,
they're good football players, and you definitely can never have too many good football players. And again, they're doing a good job, and it's fun to be around. They're both football guys. They're really smart as well. I don't think they probably get enough credit. You know, the B-back spot probably didn't ask them to do a whole lot, but they're actually two really smart football players.
Thank you.
Wrap up with Joe.
Hey, Coach Thatcher, Joe Icono, GoBlackKnights.com. you know, you mentioned to Ken that, you know, one of the biggest differences you noticed already first week coming out was a little bit of the quickness of how the players are moving, because they're picking up on things and, you know, they're not having to think as much. They're just kind of responding and reacting a little better. How kind of has the first week gone? Has it met expectations, exceeded expectations? Anything you think the offense is doing particularly well, or anything maybe that they're struggling with a little bit that you know you have to kind of work on a little more going into the opener in a couple of weeks?
You know, we challenge the offensive line just to come off and be physical, and they've done a really good job of doing that. I mean, to me, the fun part is going against Coach Woody's defense. I mean, he's an elite DC. Those guys play their butts off, and so that's what I like, is you're seeing good stuff every single day. I mean, you're getting a lot of looks. You've got to fit up a bunch of stuff, so that's going to help us, you know, as we continue to go in that. You know, turnovers are something we've got to eliminate. You know, and sometimes, you know, obviously in Skelly and stuff like that, it's not necessarily a game-like scenario with the defense you're going to see, but we still got to make good decisions. You know, and that's something Coach Munkin harps on all the time. We got to win the turnover battle. You know, and that's defense getting takeaways, but that's more importantly us not giving the ball away. So we've got to improve on that.
And I know in the spring, Coach, you had a lot of people rotating in at center. Have you made any decisions yet around that critical offensive line position and kind of who's going to maybe be on the 2 deep or 3 deep at center at this point?
Yeah, we're kind of looking at it. I think you'll really finalize stuff after the first scrimmage. Bill Katsianis is a guy that's been taking a bunch of snaps there. Sam Barzak's been taking, you know, most of the 2 snaps, and those 2 guys rotating a little bit. You know, Bo Lombardi's kind of that third guy that can be a guard or a center. But they've been good. They've been doing pretty good on their snaps, which obviously that's, you know, as trivial as that sounds, that's important. But again, Bill crushed it in the weight room over the summer. Sam Barzak really changed his body over the summer, so it's fun to see him moving a little bit better and a little more confident out there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.